Hello, viewers. Welcome to the ninth episode of the Invincible Talks. I'm Neelam Kumar, your host and the author of this book. So, why Invincible Talks? Because this is my tiny effort to dispel the grimness of the pandemic with some sunshine, positivity, but most importantly, courage and hope. As you know, there are no sob stories here, just powerful, brave ones from real life adversity fighters who jump out of the pages of my book and come here to teach us precious life lessons. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the very special Amar Bhaskar, two-time tongue cancer survivor and an ace photographer. Do you know what Amar Bhaskar says? He says, if cancer is a six-letter word, so is prayer. I mean, how positive can that be? So, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Amar Bhaskar. Hello,
Hi,
Amar. Thank
Namaste
you so much.
Neelamji. Namaste. Namaste to everyone.
You are from Bengaluru, aren't you?
Yes, I am from the city of Bangalore.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, welcome to the Invincible Talks. So happy you could come tonight.
Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be in this forum.
Amar, um, you always have had, when I was interviewing you, I realized you have a winner's attitude. So, can you tell us, is attitude important in overcoming any adversity in life?
Absolutely, Neelamji. In life, everything is all about attitude, right? Remember, attitude determines our altitude.
Ah, true.
A positive attitude is not about just displaying a smile. It's
Yeah.
about how you respond to life,
Mm.
right? And accept the realities, focus on energies which will open possibilities, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a positive attitude, it will open all doors. If you have a negative attitude, it's going to shut doors on you.
True.
So the power of positive thinking is about taking charge of your attitude. So I feel if you're positive, you can actually create an environment around you and influence all others to be also positive, and thereby the whole positivity is enormous, right? It influences your outcome. This is exactly how I could align my family members and my colleagues and all my good friends in terms of adversity, right?
So empowering. Yeah. So, Amar, I want to take you back to the year 2006. You were on a roll professionally. You were leading a very successful team of 2,500 employees, and you were at IBM.
Yes.
And if I remember, you have always been a non smoker, a non drinker. And suddenly, the doctor told you that you had tongue cancer. Can you tell me uh, how you handled that?
Well, it came as a shock.
I'm
In
sure.
fact, I was about to plan my business trip, and this came in as a real shocker, you know,
Yeah.
totally disoriented. I was shocked. I was staring at the report. I questioned my doctor. I have no adverse habits. How did I get this? Let me summarize with what the reaction was. I call this as ABCDEF.
A, B,
It's the
C, D,
six,
E, F.
yes, it's the six characters of the alphabet. Yeah, the first six. I was very anxious. I don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of uncertainty around. B, stands for being broken and let down and no adverse habits of any nature. C, confused. You know what we all do? We go and Google out. Our Google mama can throw up a lot of tons of information. So there's so much of information overload, you get confused. D, I was definitely depressed that I seem to be, why me, you know? Why did you get punished? So there was a depression. E is emotional. Well, thinking that this is the end, you know, like you start planning everything that you want to finish in life.
Yeah.
F for fear. Yes, there's a lot of fear, right? And soon after overcoming all these things, you know, you come to a point of accepting this. And that's when you stop questioning and take it as this big C is an equalizer, right? It can happen to anyone. It doesn't differentiate anybody. Many people have asked me this question, how do you get over this fear? There's always this. And let me, for the benefit of all the viewers, first of all, let's understand what causes fear. Lack of clarity, which causes the confusion and the uncertainty of the outcome, right? So this is what I call the known unknown. You know about it,
Right.
but you don't know the outcome.
Absolutely.
Correct? So this is where it is. And so you leave this dark confusion behind and go into the light of brightness. You cannot get rid of fear. All you can do is become okay with fear. And once you become okay with fear, you accept fear. And that's how you overcome fear, right?
Wow.
So this is exactly what happened. And I said, come on, let's go to the treatment and get going, right? What's going to happen? Nothing. I'm going to get well and come back to action. So that's how I accepted this whole thing. So embrace this challenge and move forward.
That's so powerful what you have said. A, B, C, D, E, F. Wow. And the final is acceptance and embracement.
That's right.
Okay, wonderful. So I want to ask you, Amar, you have always said to your team at IBM that the forward path is always the correct path. So how did you pull out yourself with the leadership strategies that you taught and you inspired people with? How did you pull yourself out when tongue cancer came back a second time?
Oh, yeah. 2006, Neelamji, let me tell you, was a turning point in my life.
Yes.
I was absolutely at the pinnacle of my career and was stuck with this adversity.
Yeah.
Right? So one thing I have learned in leading large organizations is all these kind of hurdles and setbacks will always be there. There'll be always these ups and downs. What we do in management style is that you get over it, handle it, resolve it, move forward.
Wow.
That's exactly what it is.
Look forward.
So that's exactly what I did with my doctor. So I went back and then said, sir, get rid of this tumor now.
Wow.
And I got to get back to work and get going. As I was stopped from a business trip and I got this stuff, now get rid of it. So the doctor did explain to me that it's not going to happen overnight. You got to allow it to settle down, get things going, and then move on. So there's a plan. So I used to work always, unperturbed during challenging times, and this was no exception. So what I did with my team is I continued to work.
Wow.
Right? And that, in fact, influenced them a lot, the way they saw me dealing with it. Not a single one could feel any difference in the way I worked, or did they ever feel my absence.
Wow.
So if I had to continue to work from home, just continue.
Wow.
So that was a complete presence with the team that helped in putting an environment which was absolutely supportive and conducive for me to go through this whole treatment, and at the same time drive that positivity all around. There was more support, more overwhelming from almost everyone on my team, as well as the managers, the executives, and everyone. And for myself, I will do it kind of an attitude was what I was dealing with, you know. And I came out very victorious with my first episode. But however, when the second time, after 3 years, it struck again, right? And this time, the devil stole away a portion of my time.
Your
So I
tongue.
was reset back to zero. Oh yeah, it happens, you see, when a hero actually will fall and then get up, right? We've seen all the Bollywood movies. That's exactly what it is. And as I was recovering back, and some people asked me, how are you feeling now? I said, listen, this is what I'm left with. It's like driving a car, you know, all of you have driven a car, with a flat tire in the front. What happens? I am trying to keep it straight while it drags. So the drag left a slur in my voice, right? You can imagine I'm always driving it straight while the tongue is trying to twist and drag on one side. With all efforts, practice, patience, you are all able to hear me straight, loud, and clear. Isn't it?
Amar, I had to tell you, the battered tongue episode has left you with an Englishman's twang. I love that twang in your voice, you know. Therefore, your new normal is a better normal. I
Yeah, it's a
love
positive change, I guess.
Sorry?
It is a positive change.
Absolutely. So, Amar, you have also very famously said that one has to heal oneself by engaging full throttle in life. From what I know about you, you are really, really going full throttle with your life. You are continuing and developing new hobbies. Can you share some of the things that you're doing?
Absolutely, absolutely right. You know, you have to be busy. You have to be kept busy. Our mind, you see, is a wandering mind. Keeps wandering all the time. And during all these adversities, it is very important to have your mind engaged. I did all the work and continued with my work. And during the free time, I used to have this latent hobbies like photography. When you ask people, they say so many hobbies, but when you ask them how much time do you spend on that, they laugh, I don't have the time, or I really haven't been able to spend time.
True.
This is exactly what it is. I started to say, okay, this is the real time to divert, have some time spent on this hobby, and I developed my photography. And that was a great change. And so this is what adversity has taught me, actually.
But excuse me, I have seen your exhibitions. I have seen some photographs that you have clicked, and there's so much of depth and feeling in those. So they are not just ordinary photographs. I think you also took to nature walking and you've been clicking very, very, very professionally. So hats off to you. By the way, you always wear your
Thank you.
hat. Where is your hat, Amar?
Oh my God. Oh, there.
Yeah, that's like a hero. Wow.
That's an iconic hat.
Yes, the first time I saw your photograph, you were clicking with that camera that you have.
Yes, absolutely. I do have it here. Let me
Okay.
get it to you.
Okay. Yeah, this is
Right.
how I saw you. This is how I saw you taking pictures of wildlife and with this hat there. I said, wow, this man has just had a surgery. This man has had two surgeries. He has a slur. He's conquered everything. And look at the kind of full life he's leading. So hats off to you now.
Thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. Those have kept me really, really busy. I must tell you, this has been a life-changing experience. It's absolutely taught me humility. It's really taught me to be more humble. It's taught me that there's nothing much more in life, right? So I have actually spent more time, or a good portion of my time, trying to help others to succeed, right?
I believe you are involved with NGOs also.
Yes, I do help them in their workshops, conducting project management workshops for them. As you know, they do projects, but I want them to be successful in their project.
Yeah.
And that's, help them with a process, a model, a structure that they can always be able to have a repeated, successful projects. Right?
Wow.
Yes.
So, you've really given us so many life lessons, but I want to ask you one final question. What is your formula for remaining invincible in life? We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Okay. Now?
Yeah, now it's fine.
Yeah. So I have my prayer to become invincible.
Your prayer.
Yes. The prayer is a 6-letter word. And let me just illustrate what each of these letters stands for. P is for the positive thinking.
P is for positivity.
Yes. R is regaining control.
R is regaining control.
A is to adapt to the changes.
A is for adapting to the changes.
Right. And Y is to reinvent yourself.
Oh my God, Y is to reinvent yourself.
And E stands for exploring all your hidden talents.
Exploring your hidden talents. How beautiful is that?
And rejoice with your family.
Rejoice with your family. Oh my goodness, you've given me goosebumps, Amar.
So that is the prayer to be really invincible, that you can handle any type of adversity. Come on, man. You can handle that with positivity. You get full control. You adapt to the changes. You explore the hidden talents, reinvent yourself, and rejoice with them.
Wow. You've given us two acronyms. One is ABCDEF.
Yes.
And the other is PRAYER. That's so wonderful. We are always going to remember that whenever any one of us faces adversity, because life is about facing adversities.
Right. That is true. Very true. So, thank you for taking so much of, giving me an opportunity to be in this forum. And this full story, if you would like to read, the book, I Am Invincible, 13 Tales of Courage, Grit and Survival by Neelam Ji, is available online and in all leading bookstores. So thank you so much again for giving me this.
Amar, what powerful management lessons you have given us. Oh, I see my book there.
Right.
Wow. It's
There's
become...
a book, and thank you so much for wonderful
I felt like sending, yes.
Really is decorating my study bookshelf.
Thank you.
Absolutely incredible.
I really wanted to send this little trophy to each of the fighters in my book, because it's not an ordinary fight that they have put up. But Amar, I really want to thank you for your very, very, very powerful session today. giving us so many precious life skills. But Amar, you also know that one of my pet dreams is to contribute towards creating a smoke-free and a tobacco-free India. Doing my little bit, but today to give us a medical view on this, a very, very privileged to have an eminent doctor from Fortis Hospital, Delhi. So we have Dr. Tapaswini Pradhan, who is Senior Consultant, Head and Neck Oncosurgery. She will share with us what we need to know about head and neck cancer.
Absolutely.
And she will also be giving us some tips to prevent the above. So viewers, do watch this valuable session with her, this very brief but very valuable session. Let us watch, let us learn, let us imbibe. And dear viewers, let us all become invincible. Amar, thank you very much. Bless you, bless you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Tapaswini Pradhan, and I work as a head and neck cancer surgeon at the Fortis Hospital Delhi. Head and neck cancer is the 6th most common cancer in the world, but is the most common malignancy of the developing nations. According to the current statistics, nearly 60% of the global head and neck cancers occur in Asia, out of which 30% occurs in our country. What's interesting about this disease is that it's highly preventable. While 85% of these cancers are caused due to tobacco consumption, 75% of them are alcohol-induced. Areca nut in the form of pan masala or gutkhas, certain viruses, the human papilloma virus, the Epstein-Barr virus, HIV virus, herpes virus, environmental or occupational factors like those employed in the wood, leather, metal, paint, and shoe industries, radiation exposure, either environmental or medical, are other risk factors. Diet low in vitamins, carotenoids, folic acid, dietary fibers, or too much of consumption of spicy foodstuffs, excessive consumption of salt-preserved food, and grilled and barbecued meat, etc., have been attributed to its causation. Poor orodental hygiene, sharp dentition, ill-fitting dentures, excessive exposure to sunlight are other few causes, particularly for oral cancers. Signs and symptoms of this disease are in the form of non-healing ulcers, abnormal growth, progressively reduced mouth opening, unexplained loosening of dentition, lump in the neck, unusual bleeding from the nose, persisting nasal obstruction, change in voice for more than 3 weeks, continuous difficulty in swallowing for more than 6 weeks should all be warning signs. Management of these cancers entails a multidisciplinary approach. A combination of surgery, radiotherapy, and/or chemotherapy is often required to achieve the desired result. But for all cancers, prompt diagnosis and early treatment is critical for achieving a good survival and also for improving the quality of life of the survivors. Unfortunately, in India, less than 10% of our patients with head and neck cancers present in the early stage of the disease. As the old adage goes, prevention is better than cure. The most inexpensive method of eradicating head and neck cancer is primarily through preventive measures. Lifestyle modification, regular physical activity, healthy dietary practices, avoidance of tobacco and alcohol, Avoidance of exposure to toxic and noxious fumes and safe sexual practices to a great extent can prevent the genesis of head and neck cancer. Thank you so much. Stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy. Goodbye.